Hey guys, it's TommyCBricks here with another video. Today I'm going to be doing a review on the Hogwarts Fluffy Encounter set. This set comes with 397 pieces, 4 minifigures, and it retails for £35, $40 and €40. So right off the bat, I must admit I am not a fan of this set. In fact, I think this is probably the worst Lego Harry Potter set released since the revamp in 2018, and I will explain why I think that in this video. But firstly, let's take a look at the minifigures. The minifigures in the set are Harry, Ron and Hermione, with the addition of a golden Hermione. The Harry and Hermione figure both have duplicate leg and torsos, and the head and hair are pretty standard from what we have seen in the past Hermione and Harry figures. The Ron figure, however, is different due to the fact that his robes are unfastened and open unlike the other two. Apart from that though, he's just a standard Ron figure. Now, the golden Hermione is wearing a Gryffindor jumper in the set, and of course she's all gold. I really do love this figure, and I'm sure this will be an appeal for people to get this set, as the build itself isn't so great. But speaking of the build, let's go check it out. So for the build for this set, we get a small section of the castle which is modular, a theme similar to the other Hogwarts expansion sets that we've seen this summer. This section covers the trapdoor, which houses Fluffy. It also houses Devil's Snare, a balcony and a small classroom. So I'm going to talk about each of these sections and give my thoughts. So firstly, let's take a look at the trapdoor room. I think this is fine, as the chamber in the film is very empty anyway. I even built a chamber room for Fluffy myself, as you can see here, and even at a larger scale it's still quite bare in detail, so I give this set a pass for that. But when it comes to Devil's Snare, I think the set does a pretty appalling job, I have to say. The Devil's Snare in the film is plentiful and it fills every corner of the room, but here they've tried to replicate it using 4 pieces, and to me it completely misses the mark. Then we come down to the balcony in the classroom. So the balcony section is fine, I guess, but my issue with this comes more down to the placement, but I'll explain what I mean in a bit. Regarding the classroom, to me this just isn't a classroom, it's simply a roof piece with a tiny table and a couple of stickers used to try and replicate the essence of a classroom, and even though it is recognisable as some sort of classroom, it clearly is lacklustre to say the very least. So coming on to the placement of these rooms, I have a big problem with it. So on the box it shows 2 possible combinations that you can arrange to set in, similar to the Hogwarts flying lesson. The first is what we see on the box front. You have the trapdoor which leads to nothing, then you have the Devil's Snare room to the side of Fluffy, which just entirely defeats the point of the film scene, because in the film scene Harry, Ron and Hermione fall through the trapdoor and into Devil's Snare. Now you can rearrange the set to have Devil's Snare below the trapdoor, but then that opens up another problem. You then have the balcony section underground, below the trapdoor. Not only that, but you end up having a spare roof piece, which again is meant to be a classroom, that you can't place anywhere. So for either configuration in which you can put this set together, there's huge flaws. Now Lego will tell you that you can mend these clear and obvious inaccuracies by implementing the set with the Chamber of Secrets, because then you can have Lockhart's classroom underneath instead, which allows the balcony to not be underground and instead be at a ceiling level instead, which then allocates the roof classroom piece to have a home. And that's great and all, but I don't feel like I should have to spend £130 on another Lego set just to fix this one I've bought. I don't accept this solution is a fair workaround at all. Also included in this build is a harp and of course Fluffy. So I personally think both of these things again hit way below the mark. Starting with the harp, they have made it a 2-toned colour of yellow and pearl gold. What they should have done is just made the entire thing in pearl gold. I know the reason why they didn't do it in all yellow or all pearl gold, and that is because they don't have all the pieces in either colour, but doing it mixed to me is just wrong, and it looks wrong as well. I think they needed to go the extra step to either reprint these yellow pieces in pearl gold or just go ahead and print a new harp piece altogether. When it comes to Fluffy, the heads I actually don't mind. I know a lot of people do, but to me it's fine. What I do dislike, however, is the body. To me it looks way too blocky and it fails to look like a dog, especially when you look at the paws and also the silver ball joint plates on its back. Would it have been too much to ask just to make them brown or even black? I personally think this Fluffy should have just been a moulded design like the 2001 version, or at least make the legs and paws its own mould, because to me this is simply a bad design which is uncharacteristic of Lego. I think the final little niggle I have with this set is the minifigures. I think the minifigures themselves are fine, but it's just the fact that in the scene where Harry, Ron and Hermione face Fluffy and go through the trapdoor, they aren't in Gryffindor robes, they're in the clothes we've seen in the chess set, and we know that the set is based off of that scene because they included the harp. Now, you might say that they didn't want to give us those same minifigures again and wanted to keep these minifigures unique and different to this set compared to those in the chess set. And you know what, I actually 100% agree with that. I think instead this set should have been based off of the scene where the trio first meet Fluffy after running away from Filch and Mrs. Norris. This would mean getting rid of this ridiculous harp and instead giving us a Filch and Mrs. Norris in its place. This would have been so much better. It would have made the set more accurate, and it would have given us a Filch figure which we've only seen in one set, being the Whomping Willow, and it would have also given us a Mrs. Norris as we've never had her in Lego before. I still can't believe Mrs. Norris wasn't present in the Whomping Willow set, but I'll save that for another video. So overall, there's a lot of things to dislike about this set. Even the aesthetic of the build looks out of place compared to the other Hogwarts Castle expansion sets from this year. This is by far the blandest and least detailed one from the exterior perspective, and to be honest it could pass off as a junior set just by looking at the box art. But there is an alternative. If you head over to TommyCBricks.com, you can find a MOC that he has made of Fluffy. This Fluffy uses a similar amount of pieces and costs a similar price to this Fluffy Encounter set. To me, this makes a more impressive display piece than the Fluffy Encounter set, and you're getting a unique and interesting and more accurate build for your money as well. Though if you want the minifigures and the chocolate frog cards, then I understand going for the Fluffy Encounter set, but I just wanted to let you guys know of a superior option before you might waste your money on this Fluffy Encounter set. So that about wraps up this video. If you enjoyed it, then please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. I have a few more videos coming out over the next few days and I hope to see you then. Goodbye.